Hey folks, Big Deano here again. This time taking a look at one of the new model kits that Bandai are bringing out. This one is Figuarts Standard Teen Gohan, Super Saiyan 2. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised for this. I know a lot of people I've spoken to don't like the look of these figures because they're a bit stylized looking, but when you've got them in hand, they're a lot better than what you think they're going to be. My apologies folks, I'm still recovering from that flu, so my voice will be a little bit raspy. So yeah, first things first, let's take a look at the box. And because it's Bandai, you pretty much already know what the box is going to be like. It's essentially the Star Wars boxes, pull open, standard on the inside with the sprues. We've got a picture of Gohan there. It's actually quite a strange picture because this is clearly a anime drawing of his face and hair and all the rest of it. But as you can see here, they've added the joints in. I don't know whether that's a deliberate mis-selling or whatever, but yeah, suffice to say that's not how his face looks when all made up. But yeah, there's a picture of him doing the father-son Kamehameha with the way too tall Goku in the background there. Unfortunately, the Goku in this set is like 2-3 inches taller than the Figuarts one, which is bizarre because, as we will see, this Gohan's pretty much the same size as the Figuarts Gohan. So, no idea why Goku was made so tall. Hopefully they don't do the same to Kid Buu, because I'm hoping to use him in the Figuarts display until they eventually get to Kid Buu and Figuarts. But yeah, you've got some pictures at the back there. You see the two effect pieces that come with pretty much every one of these figures. Apologies, the box is massive, so you've got some pictures of the anime there. It's quite strange that they're actually using anime pictures as sort of display options, because you would have thought, being Bandai, they would stick to manga sort of thing. So yeah, and you'll notice this picture of Gohan there, they've got him fully painted, which of course you don't need to do, as I'm about to show you. But yeah, I kinda see that's mis-selling, really, because that's a professional painter that they've got to do that. That's probably the Tamashii painters that they've got to do that, let's be honest. But yeah, putting the box to one side, let's bring in Gohan, and let us show you the accessories he comes with. So you get this, which is a nice little stand that they give you. All of them so far, apart from Frieza, have came with this effect piece and this one. So yeah, good reuse of the mould, guys. Frieza's came with the Death Ball and Death Beam, and yeah, just plugs in like that. And as you can see, it's a normal figure stand port. It's just two pieces that clip together. It looks okay. It's a bit edgy, edgier than perhaps it should be, but what can you say? It's a free effect piece. For the record, you can't really use this to display Gohan because the base is far too small. If you try to put him in the air with it, it just topples. It's useless for that. Speaking of which, you don't get the base, but just to show you, it is the normal peg hole. You get this in the set. You don't get the stand for some bizarre, strange reason. But yeah, that just clips there. and this clips between his waist, and yeah, works quite well. Holds the figure up nicely, actually a lot nicer than the normal stage act clamps. In terms of faces, he only comes with the two. You've got a yelling face, which isn't bad. It looks a bit weird, to be honest with you. And this face, which, I mean, yeah, that definitely looks like Gohan. They definitely got the proportions quite well there. To swap the faces, you just take that off, pop that off, and it clips in there. So yeah, taking a few design choices from Figuarts there. And finally, you get a pair of Kamehameha hands. My apologies. Unlike Figuarts, and unlike the Star Wars model kits, these ones have ball joints on them. So yeah, they just pop off quite easily. The wristbands do tend to pop off as well, but once they're on, they're quite good. You get quite a lot of motion on there, but the peg does tend to stick out a little bit. So yeah, a little bit of finagling there to get it working. In terms of this, it's a bit too small, but yeah, what you gotta do. So yeah, on to Gohan himself. Now, I was pleasantly surprised with the amount of articulation this guy has. They took a few pointers from their Tamashii Nations department in terms of designs, and actually improved a few. In terms of the head, you can pop it off quite easily. It is literally just a ball joint that goes back and forth. You don't get much side to side, and you can't move the ball joints, so it does still get an alright range. You can look up that much, and you can look down really well, and then you just pop that back down. In terms of the shoulders, they can go out that far, obviously 360, and instead of Figuarts, where they tend to put the shoulder pieces on the actual shoulder via a little ball joint, this one, if I can pop it out, actually fits around the shoulder peg. So yeah, makes it look a lot better in my opinion, and Figuarts really should start doing that. So yeah, doesn't impede it at all, and it looks a lot more natural in my opinion in these more outward poses. I mean, look at that, you don't even see the joint, whereas you see it plainly on the Figuarts ones with keys. So yeah, you've got a bicep swivel, and you'll notice this piece was a separate piece that went in, just to sort of make the design pop a little more, the biceps point. And in terms of elbow articulation, it's a single joint, however, it gets about Figuarts range without looking odd. So yeah, kudos to them for doing that. So yeah, hands, obviously just a ball joint, so you can get all the ranges with that. Waist is kind of disappointing. You can get about that far, and that's pushing the joint up. Usually that's about all you can get. It's got a swivel, obviously, and in terms of the legs, they are Figuarts style pull down hips. You can get that far with them. You've got the thigh swivel as well, and yeah, the knees are also single jointed, but as you can see, they get really good range as well. As you can see, they've actually moulded the design of the sort of trouser piece onto it so it doesn't look too out of place. And finally the feet, they're just a socket joint, the exact same as the Star Wars ones, so you get nice ankle rocker, toe goes up about that far, down really far as well, and yeah. So basically I am really quite impressed with this guy. It's just a shame, as I said, that, well, they don't seem to be in scale with each other, let alone other lines. But yeah, where is Gohan till I show you? There we go. And as you can see, they're pretty much the exact same height. Obviously his legs are naturally more wide, so that kind of attributes to it. But as you can see, the one thing I never really liked about the Figuarts Gohan was just how scrawny he looked, even in Super Saiyan 2. I mean, the faces looked badass, but in terms of muscle, there really wasn't any. And when he's in Super Saiyan 2, there is muscle definition there, so yeah. I think this guy will be getting downgraded to regular old Super Saiyan, and this guy will be taking the Super Saiyan 2 position, at least until the new version comes out, the new 2.0 Gohan, which I am very excited about. So yeah guys, that will do it for this review. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.